This Walker Hayes album, it's not bad. Country singer, songwriter, and Alabama native Walker Hayes. This is his third full-length LP and the follow-up to last year's Country Stuff EP, whose tracks have been offloaded onto this new record and bundled with 7 more new songs. But yeah, that Country Stuff EP was released last summer to a very little fanfare, that is, until Walker took to TikTok for some musical promotion, dancing to songs from the EP with his family. A video of him dancing with his daughter to the song Fancy Like popped off, leading to millions of likes and views, hundreds and thousands of uses of the sound, and since then the song has gone platinum. Welcome to musical virality in the pandemic. Now, I'm obviously not a fan of Fancy Like myself. After all, I did name it as one of the worst songs of 2021. And I did that for a number of reasons. I mean, the song doesn't just mention fast food spots as a way of painting a picture of a low-maintenance relationship. It literally sounds like a whole damn Wendy's or Applebee's commercial. On top of it, the track is another piece of country music that's produced essentially like a hip-hop record, complete with the sub-bass hits and everything. If you had all the instrumentation on this track loaded up into an MPC, you could produce this track in a day. So see this song as yet another chapter in the ongoing story of country music being such an insular space while simultaneously floating its relevancy on inspiration from other genres, which is gross as it's sprawled into a series of pop country records that offer even less musically and lyrically than anything we've heard in the 2010s. But when you're doing a music review, you really have to give everything an honest shot, take stuff on a case-by-case basis, because you never know when something might hit different or, I guess, appeal to you in some way, which was kind of the case for this Walker Hayes album. Now, I know my taste pretty well after all of these years of doing reviews, and I even have a small clue as to what you guys also will or will not be into. Like, it is very much an overproduced album, and if you hated the sound of the 808s on Fancy Like, get ready to hear them in even more inappropriate contexts on other songs from the record. Especially on Life With You, which is maybe the weirdest combination of sounds and influences on the entire record that I just did not need, from the hip-hop and country fusion to canon in D, serving as pretty much the chord structure to the track too. Listening deeper into the record, it's also clear that Hayes is not the strongest singer in the world either. He's more of a talk singer than I think he is a sing singer. But you know what? Hayes can convincingly pull off these understated but urgent spoken rap verses a la Macklemore on a few of these songs too. So yeah, this thing most likely is not going to be for the core demographic of this channel, but at least in my experience I can tell you this. Walker Hayes has an undeniable charm that transcends the cheap pop country aesthetics that he's wrapped in. Like, obviously he's not perfect, he's not an angel or anything, but listening to him want the best for an ex who left to find herself on Hope You Miss Me is a way smoother ride than hearing Sam Hunt be an absolutely bitter bastard for 30 straight minutes on his last record. It's kind of like a Hallmark movie, which makes it great for ironic and even a little post-ironic consumption. And that's truly the most perfect comparison you can make of this album to any other piece of media, especially given Walker Hayes here looks to a T like any given romantic interest in one of those Hallmark films. Imagine you're a 30-something stockbroker chasing your dream of a 7-figure salary, climbing up the corporate ladder. This year, your annual routine of spending the holidays with friends has fallen through, and you eventually come to the decision that you are going to make it out to your hometown to spend the holidays with family instead. This, of course, gives you an opportunity to reconnect with your past and realize what's really important in life. But unknown to you, there's going to be a love connection there too. Riding into town, your BMW breaks down, and of course, it's Walker Hayes driving the first truck that pulls up. It's the alternator. He helps you out with a jump, and he gives you a recommendation for a good garage in the area to fix the problem. You guys exchange names, you tell him why you're in town. You're hesitant to talk to him, but still, you have a bit of a PG, flirtatious exchange, which leaves you wondering if you're going to see him again as you're out about town. You make it to your family eventually. You get really into the holiday rigmarole. You start going out, meeting old friends, running errands. Doing all these things, of course, leads to a series of casual encounters with Walker. From this point, we have have two storylines kind of running parallel to each other. Having your family around and the home vibes have you thinking about the beauty of the simpler life, the possibilities of settling down. Meanwhile, in the midst of all of this, you start learning a lot of things that endear you to Walker's character. He's really handy with tools. He's a part-time firefighter, a kitten breeder, and a Libra. But he's also been hurt and has caused hurt in the past as well. And even though he has feelings for you, he's afraid to burden you with that past. So this causes him to wall up. Not to mention you also kind of still have your career ambitions about you. Your eyes are set, your sights are set on that corner office. But everyone's guard is down because there's kittens and warm winter sweaters everywhere, and the scent of peppermint and cocoa is in the air. And of course, from there, a love connection breaks through. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe of this record. It's not the smartest or most distinct album out there, but it has a heart of gold. From the intro track, Drinkin' Songs, where Hayes shows a lot of conviction in this typical, drinkin' song country trope, where there's temptation there, but also drinking tends to lead him to some very dark places that he's trying to avoid. Meanwhile, the song AA has a smooth Jimmy Buffett type swagger to it, a good sense of humor as well, with him talking about his aspirations as a dad being keeping his daughters off the pole, his sons out of jail, keeping himself out of AA, and making sure that his wife doesn't realize that she's married down while he's married up. The song You Girl has a lot of dirty grooves and dirty guitars. It's a very forward and flirtatious song, but generally, harmless and playful. It's kind of like the, flirt or seduction equivalent of going, rawr, rawr. It's corny but cute and straightforward without coming off too weird. So yeah, there's a lot of silly and sometimes just dumb moments in the first half of the LP, but the second half does bring some genuinely good writing here and there. There's also the song Craig, which is a moving track, a very moving track, a rap, country, gospel fusion about a guy who he met at church who helped him out when he was really at his lowest point, struggling to, support his family. The song What You Don't Wish For is an aspirational ballad about chasing after your dreams that's quite nice. Briefcase, I think, is one of the most ingenious, genuinely ingenious songs on the record, where Walker is singing about his relation to his dad, those points in his life where his work being a realtor took him out of the house with his briefcase, and he likens that briefcase to his guitar case and his new line of work being similar in that it takes him away from his family too. The closing song of the record is pleasant enough, and narratively the type of romance that's being portrayed here, I feel like those Hallmark movie angles are being worked very hard once again. It's a song very much about learning to love again for a chance at forever. But yeah, look, there's some serious issues with this LP, and aesthetically, I don't even really know at this point if it's truly for me, but there were some points where Walker genuinely impressed me. I think he can write some very good and very serious and touching ballads when he wants to, but clearly he wants to write some pop cuts that hit hard and translate to a lot of people. But honestly, the worst that those tracks get is that they come off a little formulaic and corny. At the end of all of it, even the cheapest songs on here are just harmless fun. So yeah, while I am very far from loving this record, truly and honestly, I will say, I did this video because I came into this listen expecting to dislike this thing through and through, but ended up more pleasantly surprised. Yeah, this Walker Hayes record is not bad.